On 26 July 2022, an 18-year-old girl, nicknamed Yaina, committed suicide and live-streamed the whole process on the internet. The reason she killed herself was because she started to play an online game since 2020. Aiming to become one of the top players, she changed her name to Suicide If Not Getting the Gold Head in her chat groups. As a result, netizens mocked her and bullied her, and they pushed her to commit suicide until she finally did so 2 years later, even broadcasting the whole process to satisfy her chat group members. After the incident, many people blamed the netizens for their cold-blooded comments, but from a spiritual perspective, I believe Yaina could have already put a curse upon herself when she changed her name to Suicide If Not Getting the Gold Head. Not knowing the power of her words, things happened exactly the way she prophesied upon herself. In the Bible, we can see many examples of how people unknowingly put curses upon their loved ones. Maybe that was why Lord Jesus warned us not to swear at all. Matthew 5 verses 34-17. But I say to you, do not swear at all. But let your words be simply, yes or no. And whatever is more than these is of the evil one. First, let us take a look at Jacob. Jacob loves his wife Rachel, more than his first wife Leah, whom he was deceived to marry by his father-in-law Laban. After working for Laban for many years, Jacob decided to return to his homeland with his 2 wives, children, and his possessions. When they left, Rachel took her father's idol images with her and hid them. When Laban found out, he was angry and chased them. Rachel's beloved husband Jacob, who did not know what she had done, swore to Laban in Genesis 31 verse 32. As for your gods, if any one of us has them, let him be put to death. Then it happened just as Jacob had sworn. Rachel died soon after giving birth to her second son Benjamin. Another example, King Saul. In a battle with the Philistines, King Saul of Israel, who decided to lead his army into a fast to petition the Lord, proclaimed a curse on anyone who eats anything until evening. However, his son Jonathan, who had just gone off, did not hear what his father had said. He therefore tasted some honey innocently when he found a honeycomb. As King Saul had proclaimed, Jonathan was killed later in a battle together with his father. 1 Samuel 14 verses 24-27. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eats any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. But Jonathan, who did not hear when his father charged the people with the oath, put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it in an honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. In the Old Testament, people know the power of words and are very cautious about what they say. Prophecies proclaimed by fathers like Noah and Isaac on their sons have all come to pass. Isaac's wife Rebekah would even go so far as to cheat her own husband in order to obtain blessings for her younger son Jacob. However, many people nowadays are not aware of the power of words, and I often hear parents unknowingly curse their children by saying, You are nothing. You will always be a failure. You are not as good as your brother. I hope everyone, especially parents, will all come to know the power of words, so they can proclaim many blessings on both themselves and their loved ones.